Hi, my name is Wendy Cronin, and welcome to Coming to Grace. Please like and subscribe if this resonates with you. If it does not, there's many other inspirational speakers on the channel. Today we're going to be talking about who are you in the playground of life. It's pretty easy to see who we are when we remember who we are. When you were a child, who were you on the playground of life? Were you the quiet kid who sat on the bench and looked at everybody else play? Were you the girl that was hanging upside down from the bars? That was me. Or were you always actively playing with someone else, playing ball or soccer? Were you the bully on the playground? Were you the kid that always got beat up on the playground? Why do we want to look at these? Because these are actions that we were told. We were pegged. We were put into a place by either our social aspect of how we were living and interacting at the time, through our parents or society, or what other people believed. And it could have been our teachers or the other children around us. So, who were you on the playground of life? Well, I can tell you who I was. I was a kid that was on the monkey bars, with my underwear showing and my dress over my head. I was also the one who would protect other kids. So if they're getting beaten up by bullies, I would go beat the bully up. I was always very, very tall and very big for my age. And that's kind of what I did. I didn't care whether they're boys or girls. I'd beat them up. So I was also a kid who was made fun of a lot. And depending on the schools that I went to, I am dyslexic, autistic, dysgraphic, have ADHD. I've got the ABCs of whatever in my head, right? So at that time, people didn't understand dyslexia and they didn't understand all those problems. So they kind of put people like me aside and called us stupid. So by society, I was put into the stupid class. And I was made to feel stupid. And what I had to say was not important. What I did was not important, and I was pushed aside. I was pushed aside on the playgrounds. I was pushed aside almost everywhere in life, and I became used to that. I became used to people telling me where to be. This started at a very, very young age. It starts at a very young age with all of us. And whatever you were told on that playground is probably who you are now. So if you were the little kid that sat on the side, you probably sit on the sidelines now. And if you want to go on the playground and play, it's pretty easy. You get up and you go on the playground and play. I don't know what's going to happen, and neither do you. But you're not going to be able to play until you get up and do it. If you're the kid who always gets beat up, if you're the person who's always the victim, why? Why are you the victim? Who told you that you were the victim? Who told you that you had to be there? Because you don't. You don't have to be anybody's victim. Okay? There are people who seek victims out. And you don't want those kind of people around you. They're not nice. They're assholes. Pure and simple. So start weeding out the people who treat you like a victim. And stop being their victim. Don't put yourself in a place. What does that mean? That means that if you're at work And Gary over there has been stealing all your projects and presenting them as his own. Start making sure that your projects that you're creating are time, date, and stated. Start sending them out to the people who need to see them. Start taking action to present yourself. Start taking the action to show who you are. And if it's frightening, it's okay. Look where you are right now. It's not going to get any worse. You're in the worst spot right now because you're not doing anything. You're not doing shit. You're sitting there in your mind going, oh my God, if this happens, if that happens, stop it. It's not going to help you. Get out of your mind. Start doing things. Start presenting your work. Don't worry about Gary, okay? That's not your problem. Gary's not your problem. He's stealing your work. He's not your problem. Your problem is protecting your work and presenting it. That's your only damn problem. Let go of Gary. Forget about him. All right? Start taking responsibility for you. Start protecting you. Would you go out in the middle of an ocean and slice your foot open and not expect sharks to come? Well, you just made yourself a victim. Sharks are going to come. Stop slicing yourself open in the damn middle of the ocean and not expect sharks to come. Okay? Protect yourself. Make sure that you make intelligent decisions. Take the time to protect yourself and not be a victim. Small steps first. Don't put yourself in a situation where you're going to get slaughtered. And if you find yourself in that situation, start communicating. It's the best thing in the world to do. Trust me, I know. Okay, let's go to the next person on the playground. Well, you might be the kid who's a social butterfly on the playground and everybody loves you. That's wonderful. What happens when you grow up? You might be the social butterfly in situations and everybody loves you, but you might not believe that you're that lovable. You might not believe every single thing they're saying. And you're so frightened that they're going to find out that you're a phony. Well, you're not a phony. You are lovable. You don't have to prove anything to anybody. And they're around you because they truly do like you. There's an energy that you're putting off. There's something about you that they truly do like. So just know that you're there and where you're supposed to be. You don't have to worry about it. You have to enjoy it. And sometimes that's really, really difficult to enjoy the gifts that we're given because we doubt ourselves when we're given gifts. We doubt that we deserve them. We start tearing it apart going, well, why did I get this gift? Well, why was this given to me? Do I deserve it? Of course you do. You're you. Of course you deserve it. Relax. Enjoy it. Don't tear it apart. It's a gift. Okay? Next person on the playground. The industrious person. The one who builds. I like this person. This is a person who knows exactly what they want to do. They go on that playground and they build a sandcastle. And if somebody tears it down, they build another one. And if someone tears that down, they build another one. This is an industrious person who is focused, single-minded, and knows exactly what they want. It's great. The problem, though, could be is that they continually be alone in their life, that they've blocked out everybody, that they're not enjoying themselves with other people. And they're so focused on where they want to go that they don't see all the fun they could be having. Maybe Sally could help build a moat. Maybe Eric over there can get some trees. Everybody could add something to your project. And when you block everybody else out, you might have a smaller project or a smaller castle than you thought. By inviting everybody else to come in, you're building something greater. And you're doing it in unity. I think that's beautiful. Next person on the playground. I don't like this one. The bully. Well, there's a couple different bullies on the playground. There's a bully who steals your swing, or who might knock you off the little wheel, whatever thing, Those are opportunist bullies. They come around when people aren't looking, and they come around and they're sneaky. They're not extremely harmful, but they're sneaky and they're kind of a gross energy. If you're one of these bullies, you're an opportunist and you don't believe in yourself that you deserve anything in the sense of going and getting it for yourself. You think that you have to steal things from other people because you're frightened that you don't deserve it. You do deserve it, and you don't have to steal. You might have to wait a little bit. You might have to be patient. But when you take things from other people, they're not yours. So stop it. Now let's go to bully, okay? These are the people who beat up kids on the playground. They'll smash that beautiful castle that everybody was building. They'll tear a girl off the bars just to watch her fall. They'll wreck everything, and they'll try to insert themselves in situations, whether it be, say it was a football game or some type of game that kids are playing. They'll insert themselves and make themselves the most important one in it. And they usually try to steal things from other people, steal toys or take things. They're the kind of kids who take all the toys from everybody on the playground, put them in their own sandbox, and only let their little friends play. And they're very mean about it. These type of people, in my opinion, are very fearful. And they have created such a facade around themselves that they no longer can recognize themselves. And they live in hate, and they live in fear, and they live in anger. And whenever you live in hate, fear, anger, and oppression, what you're not allowing in is the most important thing, and that's love. If you can't allow love into your life, you're never going to grow. You're going to stay at the same stage mentally and spiritually. And that's just not good for anybody. I would never, ever want anyone to not grow, because that's not good for me, it's not good for them, and it's not good for anybody else. So if you're a bully and you're in the stage of life where you're taking everybody's toys and you're hurting other people, I would have to tell you that you must be very sad. You must be very hurt, and you must be very angry. And I'm sorry. I hope that some way you can stop and you can see the beauty in your life, and you can see all the wonderful things in your life, and you can start having love come into your life. When you can do this, and when you can just stop, why are you hurting people? Why are you hurt? That's the truth. Why are you hurt? When we're able to look at ourselves as children, and we're able to understand where we have been put, pegged, for a better thing, we're able to understand our deep core. Why did I go and beat up bullies on the playground? I didn't like to watch other kids get beaten up because they didn't have the right clothes, or because they were bad at playing kickball, or because maybe they smelled, or because they had buck teeth. I thought that was stupid. And I still do. But I don't go beat up anybody anymore. Anyways, I think that when we're able to look at who we are as our core, and sometimes that's going back to who we are as a child, and we're able to look at those things, and we're able to pick out maybe something that somebody told us. Like, I was told I was stupid, and I was told I didn't matter. I was told that I wasn't worthwhile. So I believed that for so long, and it made my life so difficult because it wasn't true. It took me such a long time to find out what my truth was. It took me so long to find out that I wasn't stupid, I wasn't bad, I wasn't ugly, I wasn't all these things that I was told I was. As a matter of fact, quite the opposite. When we can find our beauty inside, and we can find how we play with others, how we play on this playground, we can start playing kinder and nicer and gentler and compassionate, in unity, in grace. We're still on the playground, guys. We really need to start playing well with each other. There's no need to hurt each other. There's no need to hurt yourself. And there's no need to believe all those lies that you were told. This is your life. You are on the playground of your life. You get to choose how you want to interact. You get to choose what you do. Go on. Get out of your fear. Get out of those lies. Move on. And start feeding yourself good information. There are so many inspirational speakers here on YouTube. This is how I did my journey. I did it in many ways, but the most poignant way for me was to feed myself good information, is to look at who I was and what I did. I started looking at all my actions, my physical actions, my thoughts, my mentality. What did I do? What did I tell myself in the morning? What did I tell myself when I went into a party? What did I tell myself when I walked into a situation? That's the important thing. What you tell yourself, not what other people tell you. Who are you on the playground of life, and who do you want to be on the playground of life? That's the question. The answer? That's your choice. I love you guys. You have a beautiful, beautiful day. I hope this has helped you. Namaste. Hi, this is Coming to Grace, and my name is Wendy Cronin. Please like and subscribe if this resonates with you. If it does not, there are many, many inspirational speakers on YouTube, and I hope you find one that resonates with you. Today, we're going to be talking about, are you rude to yourself? Let's see if you are. I sure as heck know I was a full-on bitch to me. Okay, we're going to start here. So, do you treat yourself rudely? I know I did. What does that mean? It means I talk to myself in such a rude manner, I would never in my life have spoken to anybody else that way. Ever. Why do we do that? Why do we tell ourselves things that are so rude? I can get up in the morning and look at myself in the mirror and go, oh my God, my wrinkles! My wrinkles have wrinkles. Would I ever say that to anybody else? No. Why do I say that to myself? That's not right. Do you get on the scale and go, holy shit, you're a fatso? You would never say that to anybody else. Why would you say it to yourself? Here's some things that we have to start doing. We have to start speaking kindly to ourselves. So in the morning when I look at myself in the mirror and I go, when I see all those wrinkles, maybe I buy a nicer wrinkle cream. Go, wow, you've gotten old. Every single one of those wrinkles is an experience in your life. It's a better way of looking at it. You get on the scale and you've gained some weight. Holy crap. Okay, you know what? I really want to get into that outfit by Christmas, or I want to get into an outfit by April. I think I'm going to stop drinking sodas. So instead of speaking poorly to yourself, or even when you do, because hello, I do all the time. I got to catch myself all the time. So when I start finding myself speaking to myself, right? I turn it around. Not look at you, you're poo-poo, but what can I do about that? This is bothering me. What can I do about it? That's coming from a place of empowerment. That's coming from a place of consciousness. So when you start consciously making decisions to change the way that you talk to yourself, your whole life is going to change. You won't even believe it. I am not kidding. I have had almost 2 years of speaking kindly to myself. Before, I would just put myself down constantly, and was not even aware of it. It was just such a pattern with me, and it was such something that I did all the time that I wasn't even aware that I was doing this to myself. Excuse me, I'm itchy. So I would get a thought in my mind like, geez, Wendy. This is what I was told, okay, all the time. You're too much. You're just too much. What in the hell does that mean? I'm too much what? For you? I'm too much? Okay. I'll be too much for you. But now I'm not going to be around you. Too much. Or too little. Not enough. Stupid. Ugly. Dumb. Bitch. Angry. These are all words that I've heard and that I've told myself. Anything that anybody else has told me is nothing compared to what I've told myself. Every time I started telling myself these things, I'd stop myself and I'd go, okay, Wendy, you're right. You are 59, you've got lots of wrinkles. Wrinkle cream? Facelift? I don't know. But there's something that I could do about it. Another thing is how I interacted with people. In one of my videos, I told you I used to be the queen of poop. Wanted to be everybody's, I was on a self-imposed throne where I felt that I could do everything for everybody else better. That was a lie I was telling myself. And when I started to go do those things, I would look at a friend of mine, and I actually recently did this, okay? So a friend of mine was having a problem, And I saw the problem, and they didn't want to see the problem. They didn't want to see it because they didn't want to recognize it. They didn't want to have to deal with the problem. They're like, no, I don't want to see it. Okay. Well, I felt it was my duty to tell him what the problem was. It wasn't my duty to tell him what the damn problem was. My duty was to sit there and to talk to him and listen. That was my duty. Duty. Yeah. Anyway, get that one? That was cute, right? So I became aware of what I was doing, and I went, oh my God, I am so sorry. You don't want to see this. I have no right to tell you about this. I'm backing off. And that's what I did. I backed off. And then a few days later, he saw what was going on. And he completely handled the problem himself. Did not need moi. Okay. The problem that I had the most with was telling myself after that incident, I wanted to beat myself up. Okay? That would be my normal. That would have been what I would have done. I would have turned that situation over and melded it and torn it apart and picked it apart. And probably made the other person wrong and made myself right. Or probably done something stupid that wouldn't have benefited either one of us. But I looked at it, I was able to verbalize what I was doing. And this is one of my things, is when I don't know what to do, I verbalize. I just say it out loud. Oh my God, I had no right to tell you about your problem. Okay, that stopped it right there. I was able to verbalize it, I was able to handle the problem, and I was able to back off, give the person their own problems to take responsibility for, take responsibility for what I was doing and seeing what I was doing and being conscious of it and not wanting to do it again. I spoke kindly to myself that day and I said, good for you. My God, look at you, learned something. So our school of life teaches us things. And when we're rude to ourselves, we don't get to learn because we're punishing ourselves. And when you're in a place of punishment and you're in a place of feeling that you have been taken down, you're not really open to learning. So when you've done something wrong, something that doesn't benefit you, let's not use the word wrong. When you've done something that just is not going to benefit you and it's just not doing really well in your life right now and it's causing strife, when you're able to look at that and you're able to see that that thing is not working, you can stop. Don't say anything mean to yourself. And go, what can I do about that problem? Can I do something about that problem? If you can, then you can start thinking about the things, the actions physically that you could take to overcome a problem. And you take those actions. And if you mess up, and if it's the wrong action, okay, you took that action. Be proud of yourself. You've done something. Be proud of yourself. Be proud of yourself for taking the action. Even if it doesn't give you the results that you want, you've moved. Now, if that action isn't the result that you want, what result did you get out of it? You might have a lesson there. You might need to learn something for you to move on to your next thing that could give you the result that you want. Maybe the result that you want isn't going to be healthy for you. Maybe the result that you want isn't the one that you should be taking because it's not your path. If you're blocked in things and things aren't working for you, you have a lesson to learn. Stop. Just stop. Don't say anything mean to yourself. Think about what's bothering you. Think about why you want to speak to yourself in such a negative manner. If you were saying these words to somebody else, what would be the emotion that you would have? Would you be angry? Would you be fearful? Would you be shocked? What is the emotion that you would have if you would say these words to somebody else? Those are the same emotions that you have towards yourself. With those emotions, you need to understand where they come from. And when you can understand that the emotion's anger, if you're angry at yourself, why? Because things didn't work out? Or because you think you made a stupid mistake? You have to follow that anger. Most anger is from fear. Fear is a lie. Fear is always a lie because it's the unknown. Fear can never be true because it hasn't happened. We can have fear of getting eaten by a shark if we slice ourselves open in the water, but it would probably be better that we don't do that. We could have fear that we'll burn our hand off if we keep it on top of a stove. We know not to do that. So you do have justified fears, but you wouldn't do those things normally. So you need to understand that about you. The fear that you have, you probably wouldn't do normally. You need to start trusting yourself and knowing that you do have your own back. Stop sabotaging yourself with your rude talk to yourself. Stop sabotaging who you are. And stop sabotaging your spirit and your consciousness. Your consciousness is what tells you what's wrong. You know talking to yourself in a degrading manner is wrong. You wouldn't do that to anybody else. So why are you doing it to yourself? You wouldn't go and tell probably 1% of the people in the world what you tell yourself. So why do you tell yourself these things? Are they motivating you? Are they making you a better person? Are they making you somebody who's fun to be around? Are you giving to the world? Are you uniting with the world when you talk to yourself like this? Or are you isolating yourself? Are you taking yourself out of the world? Are you putting yourself in a cage, putting yourself in a box? When you can look at yourself every day and love yourself and be kind to yourself, truly, truly be kind to yourself, you will see your world change. 2 years ago, I remember waking up at 3 o'clock in the morning, just in a panic. My head, I'd wake up and I'd say within 5 seconds, my head was imploding. It was like Times Square. It was so horrible. And all I did was talk to myself and tell myself horrible things. And I had horrible, horrible, horrible people in my life that told me the same things, or worse. And I started believing them. And that's the most dangerous thing in the world to do. Don't believe the lies that you tell yourself. And certainly do not believe the lies that anybody else tells you. That's not your truth. When someone else tells you something, they're usually talking about themselves. If somebody else puts you down, they're usually talking about themselves. I used to be 200 pounds. I used to weigh 200 pounds more than I do now. I weighed 343 pounds. I now weigh 152. So I had people, I'm not kidding you, that would literally not be next to me because I was fat. I would have people that would walk to the other side of the room to not be around me because I was fat. And to be quite honest with you, I'd mess with them and I'd go and follow them and just to see them move around the table or move around the world. And I'd do that just to mess with them because it was fun. Anyways, a little bit about me. I know. So I used to have people judge me all the time, call me fat, call me lazy, call me stupid. I don't know why stupid and fat seems to go together, but a lot of people like to put those two in the same category. I was constantly looked at as somebody that I wasn't. And I had all these people telling me who I was. And then I lost the 200 pounds. And then I had people telling me that I was something else again. And I'm like, wait a second. I'm still the same person. My spirit's still the same. I'm not any different. The outside of me is different, but the inside of me is still the same. And when I realized that, and when I realized how different people started treating me just because of the way I looked, it was gross, to be quite honest. It's very offensive and it's very disgusting. And it really hits home what words do. It's so sad because we have opinions about ourselves and we tell ourselves these opinions when other people tell us them. Like if somebody called me a fat slob, I would have probably taken that home and believed it and probably eaten it and digested it and had it go in my body and my spirit and my soul. And probably told myself the same thing while I was pulling out clothes the next day. So this is why it's so important that you speak kindly to yourself. Don't speak rudely to yourself. Don't speak to yourself in a manner that you would never speak to somebody else. When you're kind to yourself and you're able to stand up for you, you're able to live your truth. So, here's something I do in the morning. I go ahead in the morning and I look at myself and some days I go, ugh, you do look like a prune. Or you and your dog match. Okay. And then I'll tell myself, Anne, you have a loving heart. You're one of the most compassionate people. You have two beautiful, beautiful children. You have 3 gorgeous grandkids. You have a beautiful stepson and his wife. You have an extended family. You have the partner of your dreams. And I live my life every day in the manner that I want. I choose how to live my life because I choose what I tell myself. I choose what I feed myself, mind, body, and soul. The words that I tell myself now are loving and kind. I am so far from perfect, and I don't want to be. Because guess what? You don't know what my perfect is. I don't know what my perfect is. So I have no clue what perfect is. None. And I just want to be what I am right now. That's easy. I can do that. I can love what I am right now. because I know what I give out. I can speak kindly to myself right now because I know what I say is coming from my heart. When you speak to yourself, speak with yourself and talk to yourself from your heart. Understand that you need the love from you first, so you can give that love to everybody else. The love you give you, the love that resonates inside of you, is what you're going to be giving to everyone. That's what you need to do. So, hi, my name is Wendy Cronin, and welcome to Coming to Grace. Please hit like and subscribe if this channel resonates with you. If it does not, please look at all the other YouTube inspirational speakers, and I'm sure you'll find one that is resonating with you. So let's get on with it today. What are we going to talk about? We're going to talk about how we are put in our lives and how people put us in a certain place when we're younger, when we're kids, and how that resonates and stays with us until we're adult. So when I was younger, my mom left when I was 2 weeks old, and I had people who either felt sorry for me or who didn't know how to feel about me. So the other thing is my mother at that time, when she was pregnant with me, she was on what they called fin-fin. She was a model, and so she wanted to keep her weight down, and that's what the doctors gave her at the time. And so while she was pregnant, she took phenobarbital, which is not a good thing to take. So I was anxious and cried a lot and had a lot of physical problems, and was also pegged as a difficult child. So that's a pretty heavy thing for a 2-week-old baby to have pegged on them. Really. So throughout my life, I was abandoned by my family, by people in my life. I was thrown away. I was discarded. That always happened to me. And I didn't understand why. Well, it's kind of the energy that I was giving off. I was giving off a victim energy. That's something that I was taught that I was since the time I was born. And I lived that energy, and I lived in that energy, and I accepted it. I accepted it as part of my truth. It never felt right. It didn't feel like my truth, but I accepted it anyways. So I went on living a lie for almost 60 years and living other people's lives. And in doing so, I was never able to understand who I was. I was never, ever able to come to my fruition, to be who I needed to be. So 7 years ago, I was fortunate enough to find the love of my life, who believed in me, who saw something in me that I didn't even see in myself. And he stuck with me, thank you, love of my life. And he today is still there for me, and my biggest fan, and vice versa. It took me somebody loving me for who I was. It's a little bit different when it's your children, because we kind of think of our children like they have to love us. Well, that's not true. Your children don't have to love you, just so you know. It's a privilege to be loved by your children. It's a gift. And I believe that every day. And I am definitely graced by that gift. So when we start believing other people's lives. And a lot of these times they were told to us when we were in childhood. So you could have been, excuse me, I'm going to take a sip of coffee here. You could have been Daddy's little soldier, or you could have been Mommy's little helper. You could have been that little stinker, or look at Molly. She's so unhappy all the time. You know, you could have been Pollyanna, you know, the perpetual happy girl. We're given labels and we live them. Are you living somebody else's label? Are you who everybody else says you are? Are you believing that? Who are you? Who do you want to be? I started realizing through my life, when it started with my mom, and I was a difficult kid. I would not say I wasn't. I was a stinker. I was a difficult kid. And then when I became a teenager, I just lived that role out. I had been told how difficult I was all my life. So I was like, yeah, you know what? I can do this, and I can do this 1,000%. Remember, I told you I was a type A personality. No 100% for me, 1,000. So yeah, I did that. I left home at 15 years old and traveled around the world. And I did a lot of things. A lot of good things too. A lot of crazy things. The thing was, though, is when I became an adult and I started living my adult life as a mom, as a wife, I picked a partner who was similar to what I had in my life. I picked a partner who was incapable of having a healthy relationship. And that's what we do. We fill ourselves and our lives with the lies that other people have told us. You might have picked a partner. Maybe you could be living a life of luxury in New York or wherever, you know, in California, wherever. You could be the 1% and you're unhappy because everybody's told you what your life is going to be. There's a lot of people who don't feel that they have the right to feel unhappy. And that's so sad. There are a lot of people out there who are living somebody else's lives and they're living a life that's not theirs. It could be Gretchen who's living this wonderful life in, you know, the 1%. And everybody's telling her what a smart girl she is and that she's going to have to marry her college sweetheart and they're going to have such a perfect life. And Gretchen believes all this and she goes out and she, you know, gets her bachelor's in at an Ivy League school and, you know, has a $3 million house after they get married and goes on vacation for a month around the world and has this perfect picture life. And she has a baby. And one day she's looking at her baby going, how in the hell did I get here? I didn't want this life. This isn't my life. It doesn't matter what kind of life you have. If you're unhappy with it and it's not your kind of life, then stop living it. Don't live other people's lives. You will perpetuate a life of lies. You're going to perpetuate a life that's not yours. You'll never be happy living somebody else's life. You're never going to be happy living outside of your own life. When you're able to determine the life that you want, Whether your mom, your dad, your husband, or your children like it or not, it doesn't matter. What matters is that that's your true calling. When you've decided the life that you want to live, this is my suggestion. Is it with love? Isn't it with a higher consciousness? That means, are you making a decision that is right for your mind, body, and spirit? Is it with compassion for everybody involved? That would mean unity. And that would be my other, unity. When you're making a decision, you have to make a decision that involves all those four things. And then when making that, you can make a correct decision for you. You can make a decision that works for you. I'll give you an example of what happened to me. I saw a pattern in my life. I saw a pattern of how I allowed myself to be a victim, and how I constantly invited people into my life, either knowingly or unknowingly. I invited people into my life to abuse me. The last person I invited into my life, the very last person I'll ever invite into my life to abuse me, did a really good job. And I would have to say that that was probably the best thing that ever happened to me, because it allowed me to go, hell if that's true. I'm not living your goddamn life, and I'm not living your fucking lies. That's what it did to me. And I'm happy it did, because guess what? That fuck no is what got me off my ass, is what got me going, is what got me moving. And boy, did I move. I took this journey and I chewed it up with all of my type A Taurus bullheadedness, and I went into my life and I tore it apart and I recalibrated it and I made it my fucking life. So here's the thing. This is my life. You have your life. Grab a hold of it. Don't live anybody else's life. Don't live anybody else's dogma. And stop living what people think you should be. What do you think you should be? Who are you? What do you want to be? Do you want to be a stay-at-home mom? Then be a stay-at-home mom. Figure out a way to be a stay-at-home mom, if that's what you want to be. Do you want to be the top 1%? Well, baby, you better start climbing. Work. But I will ask you one thing. If you're going to be a top 1% person, can you please do something and be conscious about it? Because we might be losing this world. And to anybody out there, please start being conscious about our environment. We really do need to start saving it. So, be conscious about your life. Start living the life that you want. Do you want to be a ballerina? Be a ballerina. Go take a dance class. Be a ballerina in your house. You don't have to be a ballerina on stage. Dance. Dance in a field. Dance on the beach. I have the worst singing voice in this world. I'm not even going to show you. That's how bad it is. I sound like a sick frog in love. And I love to sing. And you can bet your bottom dollar when I'm in my car, I put on all my tunes and I sing to the top of my voice. Nobody else gets to hear me but me and my dog. And once in a while my husband. But that's okay. Anyways. I have a good time doing it. I'm my own singer. I'm my own concert. Be your own dancer. Be your own singer. Do you want to, whatever it is that you want to be? I'll tell you truly what I wanted to be. I love being kind. I love helping people. I don't know that I've done that all my life, but I've tried. And I'm proud of that. So that was my first reality. That was my first acknowledgement of me. That's who I wanted to be. I did want to be the girl on the playground that beat up the bullies. Maybe not physically now. But I do want to be the person who can help other people. I do want to be a person whose voice matters. I want to make a difference in this world. I might not know how exactly right now, but I'm on my way. This, what I'm doing right now, makes me happy. Loving myself makes me happy. And loving everyone around me. What I do now is I only bring in people who do make me happy. And those who don't, I keep at bay. I allow good things into my life. And I believe in my dreams because I believe in myself. I believe that I'm a good person. I know I'm a good person. Because the actions that I do every day, that's what I do every day. And I make sure that that's what I do every day. And I'm kind to myself. And I love myself. Because when I love me, I'm going to be able to love you so much more. And when I love me, I can help you. So when you love yourself, you're going to help other people. You're going to help yourself. Don't listen to anybody else's dogma. This is your own dogma. This is your own life. Take it. Take it and grab it and start living it because it's so much fun. I got to tell you, it is so much fun. You will have a blast. I love you guys. You're beautiful. And I hope you enjoy these. I'm certainly having fun. And I hope you are too. I have no clue what my next one's going to be. But please, I'd love to have your suggestions of anything that you want to talk about, anything that you want to know about me. I'd be more than happy to tell you. If there are people who want to slander me or be rude to me, I'm sorry, but I'm not even going to read your comments. They're just going to be deleted. So if you want to waste your time, okay. And thank you for clicking. But I really wouldn't waste your time if I were you. Okay? I love you all. Whatever journey you choose to go on, make sure that it's something that brings a smile to your face. Make sure that it fills your heart. And know that there's somebody out there that believes in you. And that's me. I believe in you. I love you.